Back when I started playing games regularly, Mark of the Ninja was a name that I would hear pretty often being mentioned, even hearing that it was the best stealth game at points. But over the years, I hear about it less and less. But I decided to check out the story of the ninja named Mark as I was in the mood for a stealth game. And I don't remember the last time I played a game I enjoyed so much that I have so many problems with. This ranges from the stealth system, the progression, to the story. Well, first of all, you aren't Mark. The mark refers to the tattoos that give you your powers and abilities beyond normal humans. You are a ninja tasked with defeating the Hessian corporation run by Karajan. But the mark doesn't come free. It is said that each ninja that takes the mark eventually goes mad.
Those powers will drag you into madness.
I will admit straight up that I prefer stealth games to be less arcadey and more immersive. It's like the difference between shanking a guy from the shadows because you need him dead versus shanking him because your points will go up. But I decided to see what the game was going for anyway, and once I matched its tempo, it became really fun. I think it's the most fun when you're moving fast room to room, not ghosting or killing everyone on sight, just enough so that you can maintain your momentum as you make your way through the level. It shines not when you're trying to finish all the levels, ghosting everything, though you can do that, but when you are moving swiftly, killing enemies when it's the best option, maybe even terrorizing them to show your presence in a way. It's about you're there, they know you're there, but they still can't stop you. And well, a lot of the time it just works smoothly. The animation makes everything you do feel kinda effortless. If you are doing it right, well, except the kill animation, I'm not sure what the point was that was, like adding a bit more to the kills I guess, like there's no point to the QTEs, but that's more of a nitpick. The visual design in general is really good. It feels like a cartoon I would have loved watching back in the day. It was just really well done from frame 1. I genuinely have nothing bad to say about the visual style and animations. They also go pretty well with the voice acting as well. It all just fits together to make the entire presentation really cohesive. The sound design is fine though, nothing special. And I was a little disappointed that I didn't find a single memorable part in the entire soundtrack. The movement is swift and responsive, a bit context sensitive at points based on your location, but once getting accustomed to it, I was moving in and out of cover fast, skillfully finding gaps in guard patrols. Looking down on enemies while grappling above them is one of my favorite things to do. Clearing a section, leaving the guards paranoid and scared of their own shadows, spooking them into shooting their fellow security while not raising the alarm will always be satisfying. Mark of the Ninja is a game of two halves. The half I like and another that just confuses me or disappoints me. Annoyingly, the game loves to yank your collar when you are moving at full speed. Yeah, that's what I fucking want in this game, an arbitrary goal to have dogs sniff me. I hate when games bring their own momentum to a screeching halt for tedium. Now, I don't hate the progression system in this game in general, unlocking abilities and tools to experiment on enemies when they work perfectly feels great, but when it's some random goal which is never quite implemented well into the world itself, it gets really tedious to unlock points for these tools and upgrades. What I mean by implemented in the world is that if for example I take Thief 2 missions, Garrett can't be knocking out every guard he sees in a level cause he's planting evidence, and if the guards are all out cold, it can be evidence of the evidence being planted, but no such thing in Mark of the Ninja. The arcadey approach of this game also seems weird in a lot of ways. The points definitely seem more skewed towards stealth kill and hiding bodies. Hosting levels is harder and rewards you less. Sure, you get a small undetected bonus, which the game seems to forget to give you if it goes too well I guess. Guess you sneak past the game system itself. And I know there's a bonus for ghosting, but you can easily get more points with the amount of enemies there are in each level by killing them from hiding and stashing their bodies in a dumpster. Adding to that, some levels require you to kill enemies to get skill unlocked, so that disincentivizes ghosting too. And you can't knock enemies out, like dude, just let me give them a concussion instead of death. And the tools you have are mostly lethal as well. That leaves the argument of I don't want to kill random people doing their jobs or something, which would be a fine argument if there were believable characters in the world and there was any level of immersion in this world. Then there's the other things that break your momentum entirely. Stupid laser puzzles. Now, like all other things in the game, they aren't always bad, but it's just not fun to interact with boxes, moving them around to get past lasers, or even just doing weird climbing around boxes. I'm getting bored just thinking about it. Finishing the gameplay section on a positive note though, I would like to say I like the game's difficulty curve a lot. The enemies introduced as the game goes on ramps up the challenge and complexity in a really fun way. Late game enemies, I would say, do a really good job of finding the right balance between being a bit annoying to deal with and being really fun to get past. Now, I think it's time to talk about the story. There will be a spoiler warning before I go into the specifics. So this story, it's one of those where the ending's so well done that it's easy to forget how mid a lot of it was. Now I do really like the ending. It does a great job of recontextualizing some of the stuff I thought was lazy writing. Now there's a reason I thought that, and that's because other than the stuff that directly feeds into the ending, the writing's really dull. The presentation, which is honestly great, can only carry it so far. The corporate Hessian villains are exceptionally boring. There's no entertaining dialogue or memorable lines, and the story doesn't really feed into the world building or build off of it, except for the final few levels. Spoilers ahead. So the titular Mark of the Ninja comes from tattoos with dye from a specific flower, where you gain inhuman levels of ninja abilities with a trade-off of slowly losing your sanity as time progresses. So you go on your suicide mission not because you are unlikely to survive the mission itself, but because you will be committing seppuku afterwards. You are joined in on your mission by Aura, who gives you clues and tells you what to do. The inconsistency I noticed was with her. The guards wouldn't notice her. She would say shit like, I will find another way in, and disappear. But at some point, it becomes clear Aura is an entity cooked by your brain on those tattoos. And after you end the corporation, Azai then gives all the ninjas under him the best body armor and weapons, while Aura in your head claims that Azai is destroying their way of life. So you run away instead of committing suicide. Two things here. It took me a bit after this point to figure out Aura wasn't real. But thinking back to this part made it really clear, so that when the twist is revealed at the end, I didn't really feel anything. And secondly, I agreed with Azai from the start that change was needed. Like, the clan was almost wiped out, and you needed a motherfucker on tattoo drugs to finish it for you. And the flowers needed for the tattoo dye don't even exist anymore. Like, what are you supposed to do? Die protecting the archaic way of life? Or use the resources you have to ensure survival? But I do think this also kinda makes the ending good. The presentation of the final choice is also stellar. The whole sequences and the details preceding it, like you killing the ninjas that look like guards until they are dead, are great as well. Honestly, I wanted more of that in this game. For most of it, the story feels obligatory. I didn't even realize there could be something like this that the game can do, and I don't mean that entirely positively. I will say this, despite me being very mixed on every aspect of this game, there's a polished and well done experience here. I don't really care for the arcadey aspects in my stealth games, but I can see someone who likes these systems enjoy this a lot more than I did. There's definitely reasons people don't really talk about this game that much nowadays. It's not really completely solid as a gameplay experience, nor special story wise, but it scratches a specific itch really well.